point move, about 60 or 70 or so, which okay, that's great. Here's a demand zone under a key level. Would have took it long targeting the key level, and the key level target would have gave us like again 58, 60 points. That's great, because then you're going for 60 points, and your stop is 30 points. So we're looking at a 1 to 2 risk reward. Is that as good as a 1 to 3 or a 4 to 1? Absolutely not. But it's still better than a 1 to 1. A 2 to 1 is better than a 1 to 1. Another big thing I look for when I'm trading intraday time frames, 5 minute, 15 minute, when I'm trading larger time frames, is I look for a move, then I look for a pause, followed by a second leg. Every solid move will have a pause and a second leg. So what's this do? We have this big rally, we had a pause, we had a second leg. Sometimes they're measured moves, sometimes they're not. Like this was a big move right here, about 480, 430. The second move following was
All right, you are on
230.
YouTube.
Awesome. Oh, you mean I have to say all of that all over again?
Yeah. I'm just kidding. You're good. You've been on YouTube. You got it.
No, I mean like this morning. I felt so bad. I've been going over like a really in-depth on how to read price action, higher lows, lower highs, trading the range. But guys, if anything, I'll maybe do this lesson one more time when the market isn't opened so that I could really like focus and we could really work things out. Here we go. Here, let's take a look at the regular market right now, the actual market on the 5-15 minute right here. So you see how we created this 2 hour zone? We have this 3 hour zone that worked. And what are we? We're ranging in between. See what I'm saying? Supply and demand will give you that range because once a supply is broken, it's invalid. You don't take it. Once a demand is broken, it's invalid. You don't take it. One thing I will point out is sometimes we'll have an area of interest created by a supply or demand. I want to see. I believe this one is yes. So this was a 2 hour supply zone at some point. So you see right here, we have the green basing with the wick on top. After chopping higher, another big thing, guys, a good demand zone or a good supply zone will most likely be near a rounding top or bottom. It won't be a super fast rejection. Like a quick rejection is usually means it's rejecting off of another zone. It's not creating a zone because how these zones are created is it has to create a smaller intraday range on that time frame. So like this 2 hour time frame followed by the drop, if we were looking at the 5 or the 15, this was a really, really bad range. This was a 7 point range on ES for hours and hours, which led to how big of a drop was this? A very big drop, to say the least. 39? Only 39? All right, so a 40-point drop.
Yeah, I was gonna say almost a 40 point.
And yeah, 40 points. But if you look at it in comparison to the basing candle, the candle that did create the zone, it's a 4 point zone for a 40-point drop. 10 to 1, like insane. Like what? What? That's what's great with these supply and demands too, is when you do find them, like look, we wicked right here. Let's do a short position. If I had a short position ready, right there, and I had my stop right at the top of the zone, which let's see, there we go, lines up. And then I had my target at demand, 7-1 risk reward on that. That's pretty crazy. Even if I had, because we're selling off a supply, I could have targeted maybe the middle of demand or somewhere deeper in. At some point when you are trading and you are targeting a supply or demand zone, when I'm intraday trading and I'm targeting a demand or supply, a lot of times I'm not exiting as soon as we hit it. I'm seeing if we have strong volume and volatility to push us into said zone before exiting my trade. Or I might trim one or two off when we enter the zone and then be very careful with the close stop to try to maximize my gains. But at this point, you shouldn't be worried about squeezing out like 2 more points because you just caught 30 something. That's just to cover, some extra costs, uh, what's it called? Like the commissions and stuff like that. But again, it's all risk reward, it's all price action, higher highs, higher lows. Are we in a range? Do we trade the range? If we're trading in a range, make sure we're not shorting at the bottom or going long at the top without it breaking and giving us that confirmation first, like I showed before. Um, so let me get back to this real quick. So this was a 2-hour supply zone. It worked out perfectly right here. Gave us another huge move lower. This would have been a 45-point move from the previous 30-point move and 40-point move. And what happens? We create this lower low. We wick 1 point. What is this? What's the low? 411175. And this we worked 1 point below demand. Normally, again, when we break a demand or a supply, we usually want to delete those because it means the zone's no longer valid. Me personally, if I see us wick just like a point, maybe two, and then another quick impulse move up, then I'm keeping that zone. And the reason for that is I'm under the assumption that the market knows that I know there's a zone here, but instead of reacting immediately near the top, it gave me the reaction near the bottom after it made people close their positions, after it made people enter short positions. I mean, if we were right here, if this is all we saw and we didn't have that green candle, and this is what we saw going into this demand zone. If you're not a supply and demand trader and you don't have this zone here, you're going to see this and go instantly. You're going to say this is the easiest short setup I've ever seen. We just sold off 45 points, not counting the wick off of supply. We just sold off 45 points. We broke these equal lows over here. This is selling off, blah, blah, blah. I'm not even looking at the wick. Oh, I just noticed this wick goes a little lower. Maybe it didn't wick out. Oh, no way. It did still wick out by like 2 ticks, but again, still, it still had that reaction. Plus, here we go. Here's the key level. This key level was resistance, resistance. Then it used as support to create this demand. Then it was used as support one more time once we broke it inside this demand too. So what would we do here if you wanted to take along near the bottom of the zone? Entries with supply and demand as well, guys. A lot of them will be near the top of the zone. Again, the quicker the reaction, the stronger the zone. So if we're getting a wick right off of demand, like these two wicks right here, you could have taken this long right here near the key level and targeted the next key level and put your stop at the demand. Or you could wait for this wick, wait for this to start rejecting, and go long once we start breaking above demand, so you get a cleaner entry and you're able to put your stop at the previous low of this wick. And then you're able to give yourself a nice clean, what is that now? Let's say we entered 4132 and we put our stop at the wick and we put our take profit right there. What are we looking at risk reward wise? We're looking at a 4-to-1 risk reward. Again, another great setup that you could lose 6, 7 times out of 10, but still be profitable. If we're making 300, I'm gonna do the math real quick. If we're making $300 on every winning trade and we win 3 trades, right? So 900 bucks on 3 trades, but then we lose 6 trades, but we're only losing 100 bucks on those trades, then you lose 600. You have double the amount of losers, but you're still profitable $300. Like, you're still profitable a third of your winners. Like, what? You just lost 70% of your trades, but you're still a profitable trader. How? Tell you how. I have good risk reward. I have good key levels. I understand market context and market structure. It's trading, guys, is so difficult and yet so simple It's crazy. They say it's the easiest way to make hard money, or no, it's the hardest way to make easy money, right? Because we could sit here and look at the charts all day and maybe scalp a few hundred, right? And that's great. But if we're taking our time, we're looking at supply demand, we're giving ourselves good risks or rewards, we're trading like professionals. And that's what we gotta do. We're only able to trade as well as we want. We're limited to what we do. Like, I can't control how you guys trade, you can't control how I trade, but I could certainly teach you guys how I trade and what I used to trade and how I look for things. Like, let's see right here. So, you see where we're at right now on ES and NQ? I would consider this the middle of nowhere. We're no man's land right now. We're near this key level on ES, which tells me we could also be chopping too, which again is middle of nowhere. But I would you want to enter in supply or in demand or with a double bottom in one of these or with some extra confirmation. Again, you guys know I'm a big user of the VIX. VIX is super helpful. VIX key levels are great and Q key levels are great. Pop into VIX real quick. And check this out. Was this a rejection of VIX? Look, I planted this VIX key level this morning before I started streaming. And what we do? We rejected it perfectly. And on this rejection, what we do? We came back to this demand zone on ES. We didn't touch it, but we rallied, which mean and look, last night, pre-market, after hours, when we opened at 6 p.m. Eastern futures on Sunday, we opened in demand, we started to go lower, and then we just went higher. So what did we do? Now we created a higher high, a higher high off of demand. You could have taken short over, you could have taken a long over here on, let's say, the 5 minute. How's the 5 minute looking? Right. So you see, again, me personally, I trade the 5 minute and the 15 minute, and the reason for that is because it's just what works for me. This would have been a hard entry for me because it wicked down. I personally probably would have waited for it to make one more wick lower and I would have missed this entry. And that's completely okay. Because wouldn't you rather miss a trade than chase and lose a trade? I know I personally, I feel better when the trading day closes, when the trading day ends, and I was flat. I was cash the whole day. I feel better if I was cash than looking back and saying, "Ooh, yeah, I woulda got chopped up there." So that's
Hey,
how I
Travis.
see it. Yeah,
Hey, would you go over how you draw your supply and demand zones if you have a
for
chance?
sure. Absolutely. Let's exit this chart replay real quick. Let us open this, and who was that? That was Cliff? Cliff, what do you want, ES or NQ?
Um, I think you were doing the NQ, but it doesn't make any difference. It's going to be the same as far as drawing the zones, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah, no, I just figured in case you traded ES more or NQ more. I always like to go with whatever the other person would rather. Here we go on NQ. If we were looking at the higher time frame, we would have saw it break above this key level and hold, just like I was talking about before. Once we hold those key levels or those areas, gives me a higher probability, gives me to go long. Okay, so for charting supply and demand, we're gonna look for every time frame imaginable. But that doesn't mean to be like 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour, 5 hour, 6 hour, 7 hour, 8. That's fine too, and I'm sure you could get something that'll work. But then you could just be like clouding your judgment and everything. Like you see, I have a few 1 hours down here, a couple 6 hours, and I'll show you how I found those. So first we'll go to the 1 hour, and we will. You know what? Can I create a new chart? Yeah. Oh, no. Wait. Hmm. Hmm.
I was just saying, this is gold, man. Keep going.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. You know what? This is perfect. A new chart, a new clean chart. Oh, wait. Nope. There's ES and NQ. Boo.
Chart nasty.
Oh, no. Here we go. Good. These are all there. Perfect. So, what I'm going to do is I am going to delete all of my drawings on this one thing so we could start over. Yay. All right, so I would start with the weekly. I would look for any types of rallies, I'd look for any types of sell-offs, and I would look for the basing candle. So immediately, what do I see? As soon as I open the weekly, I see this green doji right here with a long wick on top with follow through and a sell off right after. Not only was it a sell off, but like these two candles alone would have been strong, but it continued. It went lower and lower and lower. This is a super strong zone right here. So I would mark this. And what I do with TradingView is I put this little magnet on so it automatically sticks to the open, high, lower, close. That way I don't have to like do 45, 35, 26, go in and change it by the one little point oh 0.01. It'll just automatically go to the correct level. So what do I do here? I'm going to change this to red. I'm going to do daily. Nope, this is a weekly. So there's a weekly zone. Weekly. Change this to red. And I would pull up my my little rectangle again. So when you're charting a supply zone, you're going to want to chart it. You're going to want to put the price level itself at the open of the candle, which would be the bottom of it for a green candle. So right where the open is, to the top of the wick, because this is going to be our zone. This is where there's trapped sellers, there's trapped buyers, there's trapped orders, there's unfilled orders here. The liquidity, the orders and the move that was created afterwards was so strong that the firms, the institutions, they were all in here. They were filling their orders short. They were dumping, 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 dumping. That's what caused this impulse move. That's what made this zone so strong. So I might even mark this as strong. Personally, I usually don't mark the higher time frames as like strong or weak or anything like that. Maybe I'll do weak if it was used before, but I know personally if it's a daily or a weekly zone, that it's going to be a lot stronger than a 4 hour anyways. All right, so let's see. We got that supply zone. I'd look down here. So here's almost a doji, but it's got a red basing, and then it's got two big candles, a little pullback, but follow through. So if you wanted to, you could always measure it and be like, well, how small was this in comparison? This was 136 points. Well, how big was the rally? Came up 400. All right, that's valid. We'll mark it. So we'll do this. Change it over to green and pop that over as a weekly.
Watching this
And
1 minute
do our
rounding top
triangle.
here.
Are we near supply?
About to touch the
No, we're
200.
not.
419, and then this little rounding top will either pop up to 420.80 or drop into the liquidity area.
See, what I would be looking for here, guys, is because we're near a key level, I would also look to see where VWAP is at, volume weighted average price. But I'd look for it to then support this VWAP 4206 and the key level. So if we break below, I'm not taking it short right here because right now I have more of a bullish bias because we were able to break over this key level, come back down, wick near VWAP and key level, and then close back above it previously. So I can't go short on this until I see it break below VWAP, come back and retest either the key level or VWAP. Then what I'm going to be able to do from there is let's do a little short position. And let's see, when it comes back and reclaims it, I'll look to enter. We'll say I enter right here, put a stop at this high right here, because let's say we do break below and come back and retest. Entry about like right here, and target would be demand zone. I mean, that's a 7-1 risk reward. If we wanted to even be a little safer and throw it up here, we're still looking at a 5-1 risk reward. These are great, great, great types of trades. These are the types of trades you want to be taking. Is scalping a valuable and viable trading strategy? Absolutely. Do you need a good risk reward on scalping? Not necessarily. Do you need a good stop loss when scalping? Absolutely. When you're trading and you're in the mindset that you're going to scalp this move, that has to be the mindset the whole time. You can't get in a move, get ready to scalp it, and then go, but it is pushing in my direction. All right, maybe if it closes. Can't do that. If you got in under the impression that you want to grab 2, 3 points, that's all you're doing. Let's see. So what did we do? We created a lower high, third lower high on NQ on the 5-minute chart, but we were also creating higher highs, higher lows. So here's a higher low, higher low, higher low. Well, let me get back to charting the supply demand. I'm sorry, Cliff. I got sidetracked.
No,
Okay.
it's fine. I mean, if you need to look at that for live action for stuff, that's fine.
No, it's all good. So let's see. So after looking at the weekly, right, we found our weekly zones. A big thing with supply and demand, guys, is there isn't always going to be a zone for that time frame. There's not always going to be a weekly demand. There's not always going to be a weekly supply. Here's another example of a demand that worked but then broke. So you see this little candle, and then the long wick followed by a big rally. This was a good rally afterwards. What happened? We got a little wick inside it, and we bounced. Bum bum. But it didn't have. It had follow through. I mean, 200 points is a great move on ES. But if you were measuring this by risk reward, it's tough because this zone is so big, you'd probably be looking at like a 1-to-1 risk reward. You enter here. What the heck is that? Oh, wrong one. You enter here. You put your target, like let's say this candle right here. Again, and always look left when we create targets. Always look left when we create zones. Always look left. That's where all the charts. That's where all the clues are. But again, this is like a 1.3 to 1 risk reward. That's a little of a tougher trade. If you wanted to, you would be able to move your stop to like right here or like where your entry was. That's why I always say like with scalps, it's important to be in and out and follow your rules. If your rule is you're scalping today, then you're scalping today. If your rule is you're scalping in this range, you're scalping this range. You're not playing the breakout of the range. You have to be disciplined to that. So once we're done with the weekly, we're gonna hop into the daily. What do we see on the daily? Nothing too crazy. I see this supply zone. Cliff, I'm gonna ask you, do you see, if you're watching my charts right now, do you see where I might mark it as supply zone? Give you hints like this side over here.
Oh, okay. I'm looking to the right side. Yeah. I see too many zones. That's the problem.
Right. So where do you see the zones? What are you looking at? You see like right up here or like over here? So a big thing I see is we sort of started to do this rounding top and then we sold off. These right here, where it goes up and then just dips, goes up and then just dips, these are not good zones because the basing candle is just a regular candle and then the sell off, the wick goes above the previous candle. So this is not a good zone. What's a good zone would be this supply zone right here, because what do we have? We have the little green candle, the little green candle that could, followed by a big impulse move down. This candle alone, huge engulfing, another huge candle down, follow through. We had a little pullback of 50% retracement, it looks like. Let's see if I'm right. See if I can find the fib tool first. Where is fib with this? It's gotta be here. Gotta be here. Here we go. Bum, bum, bum. Oh, so right. We came to here, and then look at that. We got a 50% retracement. This green level right here. I don't. I gotta fix my I gotta fix my fib to stretch out to the left to the right. But do. There we go. Little rainbow fib going on. But I would mark fib from the top. When I would do Fibonacci, guys, I learned this from somebody. I don't know if you guys ever heard of ICT. He trades like fair value gap and things like that. When charting a Fibonacci, I like to go from the basing, the open, instead of the highest wick, to the close. And then look at, wow, that's even way better. Almost to a tick right here gave us the 50% retracement. So went from here, came down, came up. We didn't hit this supply zone, but we don't want to hit this supply zone right away, or else it wouldn't be that strong of a supply zone to come back. We're going to delete this. We have our supply zone here. Let's change the name. I'm going to do daily. And really, when I'm looking for supply and demand, I'm just looking for the price action. I'm just looking for the price action, continuation, follow through. Let's see. Let's see. So there's a daily supply zone. Let's look for maybe, do we have a daily demand zone anywhere? I'm not seeing any. So we look over here, some people might be like, well, this was a demand zone, and then we broke out of it. And it looks like, why is this here? This was broken. Oh, right. I was using this as an example. Bum, bum. But do you see, real quick, I'm gonna put that back. So you see how we did break this zone, and then we ended up actually like, it was almost like it was valid all over again over here. So if you didn't delete this once we broke it, it still worked. With that being said, a lot of times, supply and demand and support and resistance go hand in hand. So this level right here, this zone right here, maybe it wasn't a good demand zone, or it was momentarily, but maybe it would work better as an area of interest. Whereas instead of going long every time it got there, use it as a support and resistance. So like we broke it here, we came back and we reclaimed the middle of it and we rejected again. We came in and we rejected again. So it was more of a area of interest. And then what happens? We get into it and then we start chopping. Then we start ranging. We're again in a range. But this is also why I delete zones, because like this is just ugly. I can't, if I'm trading, if it's intraday and I'm trading, and this is the daily, so please remember, if you're trading intraday, your whole day you're just in a huge green box. Like that's not helpful. And you got to remember, just because supply and demand is useful and helpful does not mean it's always useful and helpful. It just means it adds that extra probability, and gives good risk reward to our trades, gives us good areas to enter, gives us good areas to exit, helps us to find ranges. So let's delete this. Do. Now let's go right. Let's keep going.
Here's that
Okay,
rounding top where if it qualifies above that 8 period with this next couple of 1 minute bars, we could see it punch up to 420.
nice. Alrighty, here's another demand zone. Here's a daily demand zone. And the reason this is a daily demand zone is because it had the small basing, and then it had a big push, big impulse move, and follow through. Now, if you're trading on the 5-minute chart, you could use this type of price action and supply and demand to find setups, to find trades. So if this, let's say this was the 5-minute chart, if we saw this candle and this candle right here, if we didn't already enter once this candle formed and started pushing higher, we're able to then enter right we're able to enter at the next candle. Wait for the 5 to close, you enter there, put your stop over at the previous candle and put your target at a key level or VWAP or wherever. And you're able to give yourself again a good risk reward. Or if you're scalping, you're able to enter here, scalp maybe 2 candles with the stop there, and that's almost a 2-to-1 risk reward. So even scalps, if you're able to measure your risk reward on scalps, that's great too. Everything's risk reward because with trading, it's all about compounding. So if you win uh 40% of your trades and you do $1,000 for your winners and oh my goodness, off the top of my head, why would I do this to myself? And $250 for your losers, then you're able to lose uh if you had a 4-to-1, I'm pretty sure you're able to lose 3/4 of your trades. I'm gonna look up real quick because there is an actual like calculator for it.
I forgot where that ratio
So,
calculator went.
where you draw your demand zone off the line you just drew is going to be from there to the wick of the red candle.
Yeah, so for drawing demand zones, it's sort of the opposite. So like supply, we would draw it where the candle opens and then to the top wick. Same with the supply zone. So we would mark it at the top where the candle opens, and we know the candle's opening up here because it's red, so it opens here, closes here. And you would mark the bottom wick because that's where the last transaction was able to go through. This creates your daily zone. And yeah, that's about it. So like right now I see us in this range on ES, and if I had to give us a range, I'd say we're going from here to here. So what's that mean? Does that mean I'm gonna go long here? Nope. But just a thought, we had these green rally candles. We had a basing here. So if we get volume and volatility today and start moving higher, if we could break this 4220 in this previous day and close up here, this candle might be a demand zone. The only issue I'm seeing for that to work out is that this candle opened below this candle. So it's like usually when you mark a zone, the following candle usually just straight up rallies. Whereas this one, but the reason it gapped down is because it went from Friday to Sunday and we had a different open. So this would be an interesting zone. And again, it's only if we have the push up higher and the follow through. But without that, and I'm trading the trend, and I'm trading the panel and the range, I'm gonna want to see if it could break below this 4197 again, or even this 4189 and go lower. But that's when you also have to break it into the smaller time frames. Now let's check out the 6 hour, right? And the reason I do the 6 hour on futures and not equities because the 6 hour wouldn't really be too valid on equities because equities only have volume from 9:30 to 4, which is only 6.5 hours. So when I trade and chart supply and demand on equities, I turn off pre-market and extended hours. So it's just real-time hours. So if you do a 6 hour chart without extended hours, it would give you a 6 hour candle and then a 30-minute candle, and then a 6 hour candle, and then a 30-minute candle. And that 6 hours is for the 6 hours of the market open, and the 30 minutes is from that 3:30 to 4 for that last half hour. So that's invalid. So 6 hour works for futures, 8 hour works for futures as well. I mean, I've seen people break it down and go even smaller time frames, but it's really the reason to have multiple time frames on standby is in case you don't find a valid zone here. So like, oh, here we go. This is a really clean zone. Look at this. We had a rally, a nice big rally. We had a pullback and then our second leg. What I would do here is I would mark this as an 8 hour. And the reason I'm marking this as an 8 hours is not only because it's on an 8 hour time frame, but we had a small body. We're near this key level, and we had a long rejection on the bottom, which means sellers were coming in, sellers were selling, and then they got swamped. They got swooped up. Buyers came in and said, not today, and it just trapped them. What happens when sellers get trapped? they have to buy back their position. What happens when they buy back their position with the already here bulls and buyers? It's gonna force us and fuel us for another rally and another move up. So let's mark this zone, right? And it looks like this zone already proved itself to work twice now. We came back in, we rejected, we came back up. We came back in, rejected, we came back up. What are we doing over here? Would I mark this as a zone? Mm, personally, you know what it is? As soon as I think I'm questioning a zone, I don't mark it. If this didn't have this candle right here, or maybe even this one too, or if it was just a green, big green, small green, and a big green, I would definitely mark this. But because I'm not, I'm gonna go into the smaller time frames and see if I could find something better here or something better here. So let's see if there's anything going on the 4 hour. So the 4 hour, we're looking, we're not really seeing much. Here's an example of what I was talking about before about a zone not being too good. So you see how we had this red basing candle, little wick on the bottom, and then we had a big impulse move up. So you would think, okay, that's a really nice move compared to this candle. Let me mark this. The reason I wouldn't mark this is because the following candle afterwards was able to go lower and wicked this other demand. So what's that tell me? It tells me this demand is still valid, but this is not a demand. Now, if this was the only zone here, and I really, really, really just couldn't find any other zones, sure, maybe I'd mark it from the open, and then I would bring the rectangle from this candle's open to the next candle's wick lower because it was lower than this previous candle. But again, that would be if like there was no other zone here and I was just trying to get a demand zone for the sake of having a demand zone. Which at that point you could be forcing a zone, and that's not good too, because then you could have high expectations for it to work out, and then it could just poo-poo all over your trade plan, and that's again not good at all. So I'm not seeing anything on the 4 hour. Let's crack down into the 3. Okay, now here's something. Here we go. We have a rally, a basing, and a rally. The rally-based rally is another price action pattern that could be used intraday for intraday trading. If we're coming off of a VWAP or a key level and you see a big rally, and I don't know about you guys, but when I was trading options, and that's how I learned to trade was with options before futures, is it's hard to go long for the sake or hard to buy calls for the sake of it being in it just because we're going higher. So I would have waited for a pullback. I would have also waited for the candle to close. So again, let's say this was on the 5 minute. I would wait for a candle like this one. After a big move like this one, I would go long on the next candle and I would put my stop at the previous candle. So I'd put my stop on the previous candle's low and target. I mean, I don't have my key levels on this chart. 42, 22, 25 is supply. Oh, that's where I have it. That's funny. So that's almost a 2-to-1 risk reward. Or again, if you were scalping, you would be able to just grab that real quick. And if it does start going against you, be wary and be careful. But that's about it on that. So let's back out of that. Let's mark that as a 3-hour demand zone because that was very clean. 3 hour.
Really helpful, by the way, Kevin.
That's awesome. I'm glad. I'm so happy to hear that.
Heck yeah, man! I'm just gonna shut up.
Yeah, Jeremy, take the rest of the day off. No,
I just might with all this graduation stuff I got to deal with.
yo, if you're busy, you could. I mean, it's already. Oh my God, it's already 11. Yeah, I could
Yeah.
finish up here, and then I could like message you when to turn the YouTube off.
Yeah, I mean,
Unless you want to keep that up for like another 30.
I'm good for like 11:30. That should be fine.
All right.
So that's trading view, right?
Yeah.
Can you trade off your when you do your setup, when you show your risk and reward levels, can you trade that or do you have to set up a trade?
You mean like when you do this little pool thing like this?
Yeah, exactly. Is that tradable?
Good question. Hmm.
Yeah, it is right there. Create
Yeah.
limit order.
Let me try it on the other screen. Hey, if it fills me in an order, it's your fault, Cliff, and I'm just kidding. Create limit order. Oh, it's not. It was just in here. Oh, come on.
Go to your paper trade.
Come on. Come on. I don't think we'll pay. Oh, yeah, you could just do paper trade. Duh.
Bingo! There's our rounding top fake out. Watch this thing rip. My,
Oh, wait. Oh, why would I do it on this?
I got long positions, like kind of all over the place that I'm looking to close this week, so this is good.
Nice.
We're
Oh, are we
dancing
getting that
around the
retest?
UF now.
Hey, check it out. We're getting that retest I was talking about. So I wanted us to break there and then come back and retest over here.
2 for 1 here will take us to 419.50.
Sort of want to log into my trade ovate. See if I could grab that trade.
Go, baby, go.
Why is it saying I can't do it?
I got long right at the wick of that hammer on SPY.
Hey, did you get the 7 days? Did you get the 7 days on already, Kevin?
For what, the funded one?
Yeah, for the
Nah, I just
to get it funded.
yeah, I got funded. I paid for it. I'm funded now.
Shoo-hoo!
I went to do
Hell
the
yeah.
I went to do the 5 Lilu accounts, and it's not responding to me when I'm going to make the payment. So it's like, well, what the hell? So I'm waiting for a message back from them, I guess.
Yo, I'm really gonna miss this trade that I called out this morning.
Right?
Wait, what? Trading with this broker via multiple tabs is not possible. I'm not trading with multiple tabs. You guys hear that? They want to fight about it.
Yep. Always.
I guess I'll have to just dedicate today to just teaching you guys.
Man,
Where
I'm
is that other one?
watching Tesla for a break above 185. I like to see that one rip.
Alright, guys. So, again, we're coming up to this area of interest I wanted us to break here. I wanted us to pull back. This would be like I was talking about earlier. If this is a valid trade, it's going to sell off. It's going to pull back, create that higher low, and then it's going to continue and it's going to hit the take profit. Maybe I should just enter on my phone.
Come on, twofer.
OMG.
There we go.
Here we go. Right to that
And
area.
here's the push back to the middle of the open range.
Give me that twofer. I'll take it.
Connect the broker. Trade ovate.
And then I want
Alright,
to
I'm gonna be
ride.
looking for an entry short here, guys. Guys, if this works out like exactly how I called it before I did this whole lesson, that'd be pretty insane.
Would be cool.
It would be very cute. Cute, huh?
Be
The
peachy
only
keen.
thing going against me at the moment is how NQ looks a bit stronger. Let's see what's up. Not really. Yeah, I'm gonna look to take a short over here. Where'd that thing go? Here we go.
I'm gonna wait and see if this
Copy,
twofer takes us to 419.50 first.
paste. Bless you.
All of my all of my stuff is indicating that we
VIX is
might
going
make
higher.
another push up. We're squeezing right now.
Yep.
Yeah, I was right about to say I also use VIX. And check out the 1 hour on NQ. The 1 hour, look at that nice big basing candle. If we rally for the next few hours, this would create a demand zone right off of a key level. So now
Yeah.
I'm reconsidering this position.
Yeah, I wouldn't short here. I'm gonna
Yeah,
wait and
do
see what
not
happens
rush
because this
But
is set up.
time.
The
but it's not that bad of a risk reward. I mean, what's my stop at? Like 3.5
well,
targets.
I got a 1-for-1 on a 5-second chart to 419.50, and I got a 1-for-1 setting up on the 1-minute chart if it breaks 419.25 to run all the way to 420.
So we have the dollar moving up, and the VIX futures just got a.
See, I'm not that big of a fan of using the dollar when I trade.
Me neither.
I've never really found consistency with it. All right, we might go lower here, but I don't know. If we go lower, it's gonna be here.
Oh, this VIX future is really choppy.
Yeah. Yeah.
It looks like we
Yeah.
do
Definitely
have
not sure how I feel about these shorts. We'll see.
a micro head and shoulder on the VIX though.
Oh, pop up.
If you look at the VIX 1 minute, it looks like there's a micro head and shoulder going on.
Um,
Oh, nice.
Instead
And
of
there goes the drop and the pop.
instead of using the VIX, I like to use UVXY because it acts like a much faster acting version of the VIX.
That's cool.
UVXY.
hmm For my intents and purposes, because I'm in and out of trades fast. Like I like to use
Yeah.
really short term indicators, and since UVXY is short term futures, it essentially acts like a 1-minute VIX. It's kind of neat.
That's cool.
It has the same pattern.
Same pattern, just it's a little smoother, easier to read on the UVXY, in my opinion.
Oh, it's an iPro shares. Okay. Yeah, we're dropping on that.
Plus, you wouldn't believe the percentage of options income you can make on that. Basically, it's a decaying asset, but you can exceed 20% on biweeklies.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's hella fun to
Oh,
wheel
it's a
trade.
leverage. Yeah, it's in a leverage.
Yep, it is leveraged.
Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, it's only $3 and what?
Mhm.
320 right now?
All right, I just stopped out of a short, just a couple points. That was the first trade on the funded. That's pretty disappointing, but that's okay.
There we go.
Thanks for taking
419.25
it
broken.
long.
One
Yeah.
2-for-1 almost complete on the 5-second chart here, and 1-for-1 looking good on the 1-minute.
All right, it's hitting where it wicked off before, so we're gonna need some volume and strength to push it higher. And VIX is very weak right now, which is great, but it's hitting where that stop loss would have been for the shorts.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking of entering another short here and just being careful with it. Just because NQ had that big rejection. Oh, nope.
This is a little more than a squeeze, I think.
Yeah, this is interesting. Oh,
It's
NQ
a
going
five
red
minute.
on
It's
the
a
5
five
minute.
minute. It's a 5 minute squeeze, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's a 5 minute. We're 5 minute squeezing right there. We started at 42.04. We bounced that, wicket down, came back in to the open range. Now we're kind of sitting there like there's a toga war.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you look at the level two is a toga war, and we got about 3,600 contracts on each side for buy and sell. Large volume at 42.15 and large volume at 42.09. So that's pretty
here
much
we go.
where
Sell off. Sell off. Big sell off.
we might go to the
Don't get it. Sorry.
42.15 area before we can come down. There's big sellers to be absorbed right there. Then again, we just had 11 o'clock there was some event at 11 o'clock. There's a lot of people speaking today and this week, right? The bank folks speaking today, this week.
Yeah. Who?
I know I had it open. I was reading about it this morning. Yeah, so today at 11 a.m., export inspections. San Francisco, Federal Reserve Bank President Mary Daly speech started at 11:05. So
Cool. All right, guys. Let's see if we can move lower. That'd be great. That'd be great. Be great if it would let me enter and exit trades on my computer. Big rejection.
Pulling back to the 1 minute 200 possible.
Yeah, I'm not liking NQ strength right here, but it also looks weak too because it created a lower high. But I don't know. This is weird.
5 seconds still looking bullish.
Yeah, 5 minutes still looking a little bullish, so we definitely need continuation on the 5 minute lower. We want it below 42.0850 to hold this short. Really thinking of scalping it because I'm up a couple points with a few ES contracts.
Definitely an interesting time in the market as far as all the patterns coming into fruition. That diamond pattern is usually pretty accurate on this type of stuff.
Yeah.
So we have range extension possible to like 421.80, but we got to get out of this
Okay.
liquidity zone first.
There you go.
And if you look at price action from Thursday and Friday, we made a nice, beautiful 1-for-1 there. A 2-for-1 would have to take us all the way up to like 425, but it's going to be if we can get momentum to get there. I don't know if it'll
Yeah.
happen today. Probably not, but range will likely be between 420.50 and all the way down as low as like 417.50.
what's going on with Tesla? Somebody made a call out on Tesla.
Oh
Me?
yeah, what's Tesla doing?
I've been long on Tesla for a while now. It's been kicking ass.
Nice.
There we go. Break 185, and it's got some room to run all the way to like 187.
Yeah, I've been on Tesla since 140.
Nice.
Yeah, I sold at 210 when it hit almost to 207. That's when I sold it on my Robinhood, but I still kept my other shares in.
Dude, that
And
options
lost.
trade I had on that thing was just epic when it hit 207. That was the strangest pivot to put on it. It's just an odd number that you see, anywhere, but looking left on that chart, it was just obvious. It's like, yeah, 207 is the target.
It was a big dump. A big nasty dump. Fill my pockets. I'll exit one here. Yeah. Oh, I just said I'll exit one here, and I heard my Alexa go, "Here you go."
Be cool if you.
Alright, I got out of one contract. Gonna let the other run. If it does.
Hey, Kevin, on on those trades, you can do it from the chart, but you have to right click, create a limit order, and then it will create it over in the order tab, and then you have to execute it.
Okay, that makes sense. I was thinking that's what it would do. I'm sorry I got sidetracked with that.
Got a couple of dojis happening here. Let's see
Yeah,
what
and
happens.
Q's looking weak on this 5 minute.
We got 3, 2, 1 second.
Nope,
Hammer
nope.
time.
Yeah.
All
And
right.
I'm really trying to wait for this 5 minute to close, guys, because again, they could always just like wick. It could give us a crazy move in the last 30 seconds.
Yep.
Could do anything.
Those 5-minute candles can be vicious right at the last few seconds.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously. Give us a dump we didn't even expect.
Got about 34 seconds.
Yep.
Oh, man.
20 seconds. All right, NQ. You know what to do. Lead us slower. Yay! No.
Gonna be like, too soon, Junior. Here's the last 5 seconds is 5-minute candle, and it's right on the 5-second 200.
Oh my god. That's
Look
crazy.
at that. Look at the daily. Look at the daily candle for ES.
All right, I got out.
Did you short it?
Yeah, I was short. I'll be real. I shorted once we got to the 42.0850 at first on this 5-minute right here. I shorted and it went against me. So what I did
Yeah.
was I reversed my position right here and got out here. So I covered my loss.
Yeah.
Might go higher here, guys.
Yep, I'm thinking so.
Yep.
Really looking like it, but like I don't know.
There's some buyers
That
starting to
is
fall
that
in
is
right
a, we're firing off a 5-minute squeeze right now.
now. Yeah,
We're about to fire that off, guys.
Go,
So-
go, go, squeeze.
Tesla
Squeeze,
and Intel are both eyeing a breakout here. There we go, Tesla. Give me money. I like money.
42.11.50.
Give me money.
42.11.50. I got
Yeah, I don't know about
buy
longs
orders
here.
sitting right
Really
there.
holding. Push it strong. Push it strong.
Oh,
Push it real good.
I went long on that wick down there at 418.10, and then
Nice.
probably convert it to a butterfly here on the long side.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think we go lower. I want us to go higher. Yeah, here we go. Maybe we do go higher here.
Let me
And
see
lead
that
us.
Tootsie Roll.
Give me that Tootsie Roll.
Just got a 1-minute Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie.
1 minute Tootsie Roll. What's a Tootsie Roll?
And there he
It's a-
goes. Boom, 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 boom.
like a-
Watch that happen right now.
It's like a doji with a big body. It's got a wick sticking out of the top and bottom.
Got you. Careful up here.
World
NQ
looks
looking
mighty
strong.
good to me.
And rejecting.
Tootsie
Yeah, I don't
Rolls
know.
are all I see. All right, setting up a possible 5-second cup and handle here for continuation. It's got to
Getting
break
some
the rim line.
volatility here. Be careful.
419.35 is the resistance point. If it breaks that, we'll get a quick run up, 1-for-1 on the 1-minute chart to like 419.50 real quick like. But
NQ
Weird.
lower. Fix lower.
It's weird that the dollar is going up and the UVX is just
aha,
hitting that 3.2 level and it's not breaking it, man.
3 bar, baby. Come on, 20 seconds.
Yeah, give us a big push.
5-second 200 tapped for the handle on the cup. And we'll see if we make it back through the rim line. The rim line's 419.35. It's got to break that to continue up. Otherwise, it can just sit here and consolidate.
Oh, man.
Okay, so we pulled back to 42.09 before we continue the squeeze here, man.
We just printed an evening star on a 1-minute chart and watch for a quick 3-bar play to 419.30. 419.28, sorry.
I don't know if I like the 5-minute on ES right now. Definitely need like the next 30 seconds to start like popping.
Yeah, it could.
Look at the time in
Q's looking
sales.
stronger.
Hey, have yourself a look at the 15-minute chart before you judge the 5-minute chart.
Yeah, that's true.
You see what I see?
Do you see what I see?
I see a bear trap.
How did you see that bear trap? What do you mean, Jeremy? What gives it
So-
away?
You see a tweezer top on the opening two 15-minute candles with a big wick sticking all the way out to 420.39. And then you see a big, long John wick on the hammer next to those two candles that dip all the way to 417.36.
Oh,
There's liquidity there. There's a bunch of buyers there. So when bears tried to short it again on the candle at 10:30, they failed, and hammer time happened in the next candle, and boom, we're running a bull trend from here.
Really needed to go higher though. It doesn't want to the 5 minute.
Here, I'll get that
That's
15
sort of
minute
telling me this 15 could close bearish.
captured here.
But listen, I want to be wrong.
I'm not always a bull, but I'm
whoa,
not.
whoa, whoa,
Well,
whoa!
I'm not always a
Easy.
bear. When I'm bullish, though, I'm usually pretty good at it.
That's what we need to do this leveling thing, man. You're good at a bull trade. I'm good at a bear trade. You
There we
know,
go.
There you go. Good
we
teamwork.
should just call out in here.
Right? So we're consolidating a few more 1-minute bars. As long as we stay above this range, above 419.05, we should consolidate a couple more bars and then get either a breakout or a breakdown. Because it's just looking like a pennant at the moment.
'Cause I'm a terrible bull.
I got about 10 minutes before I got to skedaddle anyway, so.
Ah.
Yeah, I gotta. My oldest kid's graduating, man.
Oh, yay. Congrats.
I mean, it's
Yeah, I don't know how I feel with this, guys. I don't know what to say.
it's interesting to have my oldest kid, being 18. It's kind of
Hmm.
harrowing.
I bet, man. I bet. I can't even imagine.
So I was reading this guy. What he did is when his kid was 18, he told him, "You don't need to move out of here, right? You can still live in my house, but you're gonna pay me $250 a month in rent."
Mhm.
So he took that 250 and he invested it. Right when the kid was 25, he decided it was time for him to move out. So he took that money and gave it to the kid to put down payment on his first house.
There you go.
Oh, that's awesome.
You know.
That's my plan.
So there you go. Food for thought, Jeremy. You know, is your
Yep.
kid paying rent yet?
He will be. Plus, he wants to buy the old family vehicle, so because he doesn't want to see it go. He's like, this thing has sentimental values. It's got a lot of my childhood memories in it. I want to buy it. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no.
Timber.
That's a fake out, man.
Yeah, watch this.
Oh, okay.
Hold my beer.
That's a fake out right there.
419.05 is a base of consolidation. If
No, you
this is going to be a
promise?
pennant.
I swear by it.
Here, let's draw some pictures. So I'll show you what I'm looking at.
We're hitting we're hitting some key levels. Just again, you know, if you look at, for those that watch View app, we're flat. We're so flat,
Yeah.
right? It's like when you're flat, you find the range, and we haven't made a real top range yet, except for the open range, and that would be at 42.14.
All right, pop higher. Really strong move higher. Right here.
We're right smack in the middle, right there.
All right, here's what I see. Bam. All it needs to do is break that consolidation, and then boom, we're in the box. Oh, Tesla just took off.
Going higher.
Oh, baby.
Let's go.
Oh, look at NQ reacting to it.
Go.
Intel
Look,
cooking.
even
Tesla
ES is
cooking.
reacting to it right now.
Yup. Should go higher.
Dun, 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 dun. Money, money,
It
money,
has
money.
42.1150 yet for my order. 42.1150.
Oh man, what a wick back. Are all equities strong right now?
Looking that way. Let me double check a couple.
We're about 60% on the Nasdaq.
Amazon looking to bounce, but it wasn't a great opening for it. Tesla's just ripping. Spy set up for consolidation breakout.
Yeah,
Some of the
NQ
penny
going
stocks are
higher.
falling. Intel's right at resistance. Yeah, we're cooking off, guys.
Nice.
Bulls have it.
Out of one.
All right, we hit 41.50.
See, even Kevin can be a bull once in a while.
That's
I love
funny, I
being
feel
a
like
bear.
I'm
I
more
love
bull
being a
than
bear.
bear.
I love being a bear because it's fast. It's like just my style, but sometimes
Yeah.
I do still enjoy being a bull. So I mean, you know, as I keep
Bro, who
saying, like,
doesn't enjoy being a bull?
be an omnivore, eat everything. Eat bears, bulls, and pigs. They all taste
my.
great.
Are we gonna go higher? I'm out of 2 contracts. I was in 3 contracts. Gonna see if we could let this one run.
Go baby, go.
Oh no.
It's okay. It's just pulling back. It's
No,
normal.
no, it's not okay.
Oh, you went long, didn't you? You gotta wait for your signal candles.
I am
man.
long. Well,
That's
but
what
I
that.
didn't go long up there. No, no,
Okay.
no. I went long around 4209. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
okay.
good. Oh, I'm good,
Okay.
good, bro. I had 3 ES cons. I got out of 2. I'm letting the one run. I want to target supply at 4222. That'd be great. That's 10 more points. That's $500 with the 1 ES contracts. I'll take it. I'll set and forget this trade.
Can do.
Once we break above this 421175 where I put the stop before, we should have a lot of room to go. I'm just not liking the little bit of divergence, but we'll see.
Yeah, let me see here. We got about 40 seconds left. We'll find out. Apologies on YouTube. I got a lot of background noise here today. It's a
Oh.
busy house. I haven't even been
I
paying
had the
attention to the
41,
comments.
42.11.50 right there. Really put a resistance on it.
All right,
Damn.
here's our fake out question mark, or is this, or did we just reject the top of that range?
The UVXY, whatever, kept going down.
Yeah.
Dollar is going down.
All right, I'm out of that contracts.
Got a 3-bar printed here. I didn't see any comments on YouTube. What the heck?
I think they were turned off.
Should be on.
Because I think, remember how we set it up this morning?
Oh, yeah, maybe. Maybe. All right, well,
All right, up
anywho's,
100 today on the funded. That's pretty cool. I'll take it.
nice work, Kimosabe. All right, here we're up.
Be watching the 15-minute though for a close. We got 2 minutes on this 15. If it's a doji, might be setting up for a move lower.
Yeah, it could.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Maybe, baby. Oh, big wick up. They wanted to make sure I stopped out first.
Yep, that was a 3-bar.
NQ week.
We just got a morning
know.
star starting here, though. There's a doji at the bottom of that big bar on the 1 minute.
Bro, I'm hungry. What time is it? Oh, yo, I gotta. Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Alright, I gotta get going.
Yeah, I'm hungry too.
Ladies and gents. Ladies and gents, it's been an awesome day trading with you all. I hope you all learned something this morning from that lesson. Now, I do apologize that I wasn't able to record it and get it all on YouTube and stuff, but I will try to get it done and do that again. Maybe sometime when the market isn't opened, and I'll record it with all of you guys, and we'll do that again. Because that
Yeah,
was
I got
good.
some leftover mussel and mahi pasta calling my name right now.
Nice. Enjoy. All right. Take
Okay.
care, everybody. Have a great day.
See you, man.
All right, y'all.
Catch y'all
I'll
tomorrow.
stick around here on voice if anyone wants to chit chat.
I got like a minute. I just want to call this out before I sign off everything. Looking at this 1-for-1, it's set up. You guys saw the boxes I put in the chat there. If it holds that support level and we're looking at SPY 419.20's critical support now. If it holds that, we can go and finish this move up to about 420.10. Extend that into possibly going back to the top of our liquidity zone up to like 420.70. So kind of going to be a tight range day, I think, but we could see a squeeze towards the end of the day as well. So we're accumulating in a compressing range. So usually when those break, they tend to break pretty rapidly into a squeeze. Other than that, kind of the meat and potatoes will be in the middle of the week this week, I think, because we got some meetings and stuff going on. So we'll see how the market does. So far, Tesla's looking nice. I'm loving Tesla. Looking at Intel, it's not peppy as it should be here, but it's kind of getting into a range where it might just complete this massive move I have lined up here, all the way up to the top of liquidity again. And if that thing maintains strength here, because we've got a nice continuation pattern off of the key support area, we could see that thing hitting like around 37, 38 bucks. That's very possible. I'm long on it. I'm just kind of chilling. I don't have, I've got lots of patience for that move. It can take all the time it needs, well, within a couple weeks, I think. And I'm good. I'll leave my computer running today. I'm going to be running my butt off outside the house most of the day today, so I'm going to kind of, I guess I'll leave my stream going for charting, but other than that, gotta pop that back in. Hold on a second. There we go. And I gotta share my screen there. There we go. I love having computing power. There's that breakout.
So
Nice.
that's the breakout of the box right there to 42.14.
Yes, sir. Love it. These measured moves, guys, I mean, they've been just methodical, one after another. We spot them all the time, and that's the brilliance of being able to have a few extra eyes on the market. But when everybody's kind of looking for the same thing, it even helps more. So we keep trading them as they come. And I always say this, but it's not about what you trade, it's about how you trade it. So eventually, I want to say that a good challenge would be to maybe have a paper contest someday, where like there's a specific stock that you can trade, and there's specific rules to how you can trade it. Like you can only, buy to open and sell to close or something like that. That'd be kind of cool, just to see what everybody can do with price action. And that's easy to do with like penny stocks. So we'll see what rips. All right, then I'm going to run a chart reset. I'll get my grid kind of laid out for you guys, and I'll just let her rip.
Wow.
That was quite a rejection off of 419.50, but that was my first bull target. I don't think it's rejection, though. I think we're just going to consolidate here for a while.
Yeah, we're just back in the box.
Yep. Get back in the box. If you ever see that movie, The Collector, you'll know what I mean. Just kidding. That's a messed up horror movie. All right, then, guys. I'm going to end the stream for YouTube. I will see you guys tomorrow. Same place, same channel. Have a great one.